Alec Kerr, the film critic for the Conway Daily Sun, and I'm joined by...
Smoking Jay. Again, it's been a while.
It's been a while,
yes,
sir. It's basically been all summer.
It's been all summer. I'm a busy man,
busy
so
man.
it feels good to get back into the studio with you, man.
So we're gonna get into all things Deadpool and Wolverine.
I've been waiting for this for so long.
So has everybody. Ever since we technically saw Deadpool and Wolverine in the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie.
Oh,
and
for sure.
And it was, this is awful. And the minute we got actual Deadpool, it's like, okay. And Ryan Reynolds was teasing it from that first movie, not thinking it was ever going to happen. And it actually didn't. It was
Hugh Jackman.
It was Hugh Jackman.
Yeah,
it wasn't
Hugh Jackman made the call.
He said,
all
he
right,
called
I
him,
really
I
do
want to do.
this.
And they'd already spent months,
Yeah.
trying to figure out, trying to crack the script. They couldn't crack the script. And I actually watched an interview with Sean Levy, the director and co-writer, saying they were about to give up. They were about to go to Kevin Feige and say, you know what? It's not the time. We can't crack it.
Yeah.
Let's wait a couple years. And he was on his way to a meeting and got the call from Hugh Jackman that morning saying, I want in. And that changed everything. They found a way into the story, and
they did find a way into the story, all right. Oh man, yeah. So I don't even know where to begin.
I know.
Lead us in.
Well, we can start at the very beginning,
Okay.
In the sense that the elephant in the room is that Wolverine is dead. Logan is dead.
Logan is dead.
The Hugh Jackman and Logan is a great movie, one of the greatest superhero movies ever made. Perfect send-off for the character. How do you do that? How do you not disrespect that movie? How do you still honor that movie? And
they found a way to almost not disrespect that movie.
It was almost like they still honor the movie.
They honor it, but with disrespect.
But with by being so disrespectful, it's almost respectful, because the whole opening fight sequence is using the adamantium bones of Wolverine to fight all these TVA agents.
Fantastic.
It's glorious.
Yeah, it's fantastic. The music choice throughout the whole movie was fantastic.
NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye.
It was lovely.
And he does all of the dance
Smashes
moves.
it. Yep.
All the dance moves. If you're familiar with the music video, it's like a recreation with Deadpool.
So it's a Canadian thing, right? Every Canadian around our age from that era just loves NSYNC. And
well, the funny thing is,
do you think he rehearsed that dance, or was that already in his memory banks?
If you look in the credits, it says "Dancing Deadpool." So I don't think Ryan Reynolds did it himself.
Oh, he wasn't even doing it?
I don't think he was.
Oh,
But the funny thing is that was actually like a really deep cut callback to X-Men 2, because there's a scene in the car with Pyro, who's in this movie, and he's like, I hate awkward silences, and Bye 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 starts playing.
Yep.
So I have to believe that was not coincidence, because there are no coincidences with Ryan Reynolds.
No. He's a genius.
Yeah.
The man's a genius.
And then there's another callback to the music video. Celine Dion did the theme song for Deadpool 2.
Yep.
And there's a music video, and at the end of the music video, it's Deadpool talking to Celine Dion, being like, that was great, that was perfect, that was an 11. This is Deadpool 2, we need you at a 5. And Celine Dion goes, this doesn't go.
This doesn't go to a 5.
This doesn't go to a 5. And it ends with, I should have gotten in sync. Well. So he's always like weaving things and connecting things.
Oh. Yeah, he's very clever. Very clever movie, I thought.
Yeah.
My favorite Marvel movie thus far. Hands down.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far, but like it's probably the funniest and most like purely like entertaining.
Oh, 100%. Ragnarok, Thor Ragnarok for me was up there, like the most entertaining at the time. This one surpasses that in my mind. It opens up a lot of questions about the future of the MCU and exactly just what the hell is going on.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people, post the original arc, the Infinity Stone saga, have basically been like, they're all terrible. These new movies are not great. There's been a lot of criticism of these movies, and I think part of it is that there hasn't been any direction really. It's like they're trying to connect everything, but it's not working.
No, and there was a lot of rewrites with the Jonathan Majors thing.
Right.
So they're not going the Kang Dynasty route, so that was a whole nother, like,
Yeah. And that means that, like, Ant-Man Quantumania is basically just a useless film now. It doesn't, you know, it was trying to set up Kang as this villain.
Oh, yeah, the big bad.
And you still watch that movie as a fun movie, but it doesn't
mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything anymore.
Not really.
Which is fine. They don't have to all mean something. But, like, there are like little teases in there that are never going to get paid off, which is unfortunate because there hasn't really been a misstep with the MCU where there's a movie where you can just be like, oh, well, you don't have to watch that one at all.
Yeah, it means nothing.
It means nothing. But this, I've been watching lots of interviews with the director, Sean Levy, and he talked about how there was no directives to try to set anything up. Like, Kevin Feige didn't say they needed to set anything up. The post-credit scene does not tease a future movie. This isn't about setting up the next movie, the next 3 movies. It's literally just go make your Deadpool Wolverine movie.
Yep.
And
they don't really set anything up.
No.
Other than maybe a Gambit maybe movie and some of that. But
well, yeah. Then now, if you want to talk about any setup, like some of these characters have been pulled into the universe.
They've been pulled back in, and so you could see some stuff coming out there.
But will we get? Because there's already a Mahershala Ali Blade movie that's allegedly going to be made. Do we now get a Wesley Snipes Blade movie? Because Wesley Snipes is back as Blade. Sure
is. That was awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, I had no idea he was coming into this movie.
And that was the most left field. You never would have guessed in a million years of all the cameos. And it wasn't even in discussion amongst like the internet of spoilers.
No, I had no idea. We're Elektra.
Yeah.
No idea either. I knew Gambit was in it, and I knew, like, you know...
I hadn't heard about Gambit,
Sabretooth, and you see a lot of
Elektra
those.
was spoiled, like, early on. It was actually on, like, the IMDb trivia.
I tried really hard to... anything I would see coming up, Deadpool, Wolverine, I just went away from it. I wanted nothing, no spoilers at all.
But they did a good job keeping it under wraps on Blade, because, like, that was like, whoa.
Was not expecting that. Yeah, was not expecting Blade.
And then...
he was really good.
He was really good.
He was awesome.
Yeah. The other like cameo that was unexpected was Chris Evans.
Oh, I loved it.
Which was glorious because they're setting it up like he's back as Captain America.
Oh yeah, so hard, and you so think it, and then flame on. Like, oh yeah. Johnny Flame.
He was Johnny Storm.
Blaze.
Yeah. Which speaking of, there's lots of commentary about this, but like, why is it that Johnny Blaze is actually Daredevil, or not Daredevil, is Ghost Rider? Johnny Blaze is Ghost Rider. Johnny Storm is the Human Torch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's quite confusing.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. I misspoke.
I know.
My apologies.
Yeah. but why? What are you doing to us?
Yeah, that's just confusing. Sloppy writing.
Yeah.
Lazy writing.
Yeah.
Oh, we need a name. Johnny. Yeah.
I mean, at least Ghost Rider does have a flame aspect to it. But
are we ever going to get to see another Ghost Rider?
I don't know.
That would be awesome.
I would love to see Nicolas Cage come back.
Oh, yes.
And do some Nicolas Cage.
Yes.
Do his Nicolas Caginess with...
Just go as Nicolas Cage as you can.
Hanging out with Deadpool. Could you imagine?
Oh, that would be... No.
No.
No, I can't imagine what would happen, but do it.
But... So the plot of this is that because this isn't the same Logan, this isn't the same Wolverine. This is another multiverse.
Yeah, we're in the multiverse, so anything's possible. Yeah.
So this is the worst Wolverine. He did something so terrible in his timeline, or at least he's internalized.
He internalizes it
being
as super terrible.
Right.
It wasn't as bad as he didn't do anything. And that's the problem.
It was his lack of doing anything. So, so he's got this guilt and this heavy burden, and so
his world is pretty well already toast.
Right.
So,
to save his timeline, Deadpool's timeline, for reasons he needs to get the anchor being, which is a new concept.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's basically just an excuse.
That's what I thought. I was thinking I was going to bring that up at some point in today, is like the introduction of the anchor beings.
Yeah.
I don't buy Wolverine was our anchor being in 616.
No.
Or 8, Earth 616?
Yeah, wouldn't you think it would have been like Tony
Iron
Stark?
Man. Yeah, exactly. It would have been Tony Stark. But
is that why the timeline's dying? Or can you have multiple anchor beings?
I don't know. It opens up a whole Pandora's box of crap.
But honestly, I think it was just comic book mumbo-jumbo to get a plot going.
Yep.
And I'm fine with it. You're not supposed
it worked for me.
You don't have to think about it. I mean, there are these people that like, oh, the MCU's terrible. That doesn't make any sense. It's like, it's comic book movies.
It doesn't make any sense. You're watching a dude with magic of the mystic arts and a Hulk.
Yeah.
And what?
A guy that can
let's expand,
regenerate from a single cell, basically. There's a floating Deadpool head, and you're like, oh, that's not believable.
It can't make sense at some point. It just can't.
Yeah.
It was so fun, though. Oh, my God. Yes, the can't.
And what's really nice, though, is that it very easily could have just been a nonstop, and it is a comedy. It is absolutely hilarious.
But it's got some really good sentimental moments in it, really impactful moments, I felt like.
And Hugh Jackman is like,
the best.
He's not doing it halfway. He's like giving a very dramatic performance here.
I think outside of Logan, which is he was so good in Logan. Yeah, this is my favorite Wolverine I have seen.
He is giving that same level of intensity.
Oh, yes.
And that's why it works. Like if it had been, oh look, Wolverine doing jokes, it wouldn't work. You need to have him as the straight person, to go off of Deadpool.
Yeah, you can't have two of them just sitting there rallying off each other. You're going to get lost in that. But oh man, the the Honda Odyssey scene.
Yeah.
Oh, if you haven't seen it, you get two really good fights between Deadpool and Wolverine.
And the one in the car is
awesome.
It also has, and I call it the planes, trains, and automobile moment, where Wolverine just goes at him. And it's very similar to that scene with Steve Martin and John Candy.
No, that's a really good comparison where he just lets him have it. Like, you know what?
You are just the absolute worst.
You're just the worst person.
And I've been alive for 200 years.
Yep. It's the joke on everyone that you can't die.
Yeah. And this is a credit to Ryan Reynolds' acting. He's in a mask, and you can feel that he is completely, utterly
just rocked,
destroyed.
I don't know how they're able to do that. Yeah. Is it him being?
I think
with his body
most of the time
and
he
stuff?
is in there,
or did they digitally do something with that mask to help relate those emotions?
There are, the white eyes.
Yeah, they give you a little bit there, but
in that moment, I don't even think they did anything digital with the eyes. I think that was literally just his body language, slight tilt, and just him saying like,
I'm gonna fight
you, and it was no irony.
Yeah, it was no joke. It was like, no, you cut to the core on that one.
We're fighting you. We're fighting now.
This is a serious fight now, and it is a serious fight. It is just as good as you would think it would be.
And I love close quarter fight choreography.
They're in a Honda Odyssey, like. Oh, it's brutal. It's so violent and awesome.
And it is great to see. I mean, Hugh Jackman has been great as Wolverine for decades.
Oh, yeah.
Like literally decades.
Yeah, long time.
But this is the first time like he's like getting to be like comic accurate Wolverine. Like he's getting on all fours. He's charging. Like it feels like the Wolverine that was on the X-Men animated series that's been in the comic books. Like it feels like that. And the costume helps so much.
Oh man, it was it's that moment when the cowl comes up.
Yeah.
When I watched it, everybody in the audience went absolutely bananas.
Yeah, because no one was expecting that. It's like, oh, we got the costume. We're not going to get the cowl.
No, and you knew when he goes back, like, oh, here it comes. Yeah. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Reynolds immediately kind of steps on it with a weird blowjob joke.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, you kind of ruined that. That's the only joke into the whole movie I felt was ill-timed. And it took away from that.
Yeah,
just that moment.
Yeah, and that moment when he finally puts the cowl on, it's because there's the Deadpool core,
all of the Deadpool's
variants that they have to go up against to do whatever they need to do in the climax to get to wherever they need to go.
Amazing.
And it's amazing. And did you spot, or did you read the credits to see who some of the...
So... Yes, I can't remember all their names now, but oh yeah, we were definitely like, who's playing?
There
everyone?
is a cowboy Deadpool, and it's like, well, obviously,
immediately who that
obviously that's McConaughey.
Oh yes,
and Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds' wife, is Ladypool. And here's the fun thing with that, like, Ladypool was actually drawn to look like Blake Lively. Like years ago, because the creator of Deadpool was watching Gossip Girl with his wife at the time, and so took Blake Lively.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then also Ryan Reynolds, there's a line like decades ago. This is how Ryan Reynolds like got into Deadpool. There's a line that, oh well, Deadpool looks like Ryan Reynolds and like combined with Sharpay. That's what his face looks like. And so the fact that you have these like ingrained like comic references to both Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, and they're in the movie.
And then they're both in the movie.
It's perfect.
Oh yeah.
I've heard like kind of like conspiracy theory, like joke fan theory, that the whole reason that Ryan Reynolds married Blake Lively is so that she could be Deadpool.
Just be
Lady
Deadpool.
Just trying to like get it in, like, we're gonna make this happen. I'm gonna manifest this.
It was contracted in.
And then, as I said earlier, there's just a floating head Deadpool. That's Nathan Fillion.
Yep.
And then there's Kidpool and Babypool, and those are actual Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's kids.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Very good. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know where to go.
You know, and I have heard people say that, yeah, it's good, it's really funny, but the story is a little bit lacking if you want to start getting into it. Like,
what are you looking for?
Well, like the Cassandra Nova character, she's fine. She's like a great character, and intimidating, but I don't know. Like it seems like Marvel is still struggling with villains. Like it seemed like a little bit of a waste. Like she was cool, she was intimidating,
she was a good villain.
But it just seemed like, oh well, we need some sort of adversary. And we need some sort of
villain. You definitely
needed
some sort of adversary, and
it does connect because there is the Charles Xavier connection, because she's Professor X's sister. So that does connect back to, you know, X-Men and Wolverine. But I don't know, like it just seemed like, okay, we need a villain.
Oh, they definitely needed
I actually
some kind of villain, because where they put it is in the void, so nothing touches the outside universe.
Right,
it's all a self-contained little things.
Which is where all these cameos come in.
Which is where all the cameos come in.
Because the void is a dumping zone for the multiverse.
Yep. So you get all these variants.
All these different,
Lots of Deadpool variants in the void, that's for sure.
Yeah. I actually thought, even though it was just a bureaucrat, that Mr. Paradox, played by Matthew McFadden, I thought he was a more interesting villain, even though he doesn't have powers. Just his motivation and how like smarmy he is, and how he's just like, oh, I don't know what's going on. I'm just I don't know. But this is not really a movie where you go for like a story. It's just an excuse to string all this stuff together.
Yeah, give me a plot that's good enough to keep me interested. Yeah. And we're there to see Deadpool and Wolverine.
Right.
Like,
and the character moments between them are really strong.
Are excellent. Like it was a perfect movie for me. That's what I wanted to see. I knew it was going to be good. How could it not be a great movie?
Yeah.
With this setup in the cast that they have, and they executed it flawlessly, I felt.
And then we haven't even touched on all the Wolverine variants, where we get the Calverine.
The rare Calverine. The legends are true.
Henry Cavill pops up. He would actually, like, if they needed a new Wolverine, that could work. That could work.
He even did the arm pump.
Yep, he did his arm pump from Mission Impossible.
It was great.
Yeah.
No, he was good. The little, all of them. I want to see Old Man Logan. Man Logan.
Yeah.
You only get to catch a glimpse of him sitting on the porch, and he just blasts Deadpool. But
and then
that's a good one.
You tease us a Wolverine versus Hulk.
Oh, they gave you a little snippet of it.
A little taste. And then comic accurate, like 5'1" Wolverine.
Oh, look at you, little guy.
You precious.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Because that's always like people's criticism.
So the crucified Wolverine.
Yeah.
I don't know that comic. I don't know what that
I don't
world
even know,
is from. If that
it's
is
a comic
from
cover, I know that. I don't know if there's it's a huge
like a
part
story
of,
plot to it or something, but I would have taken him. He's got nothing going on. I would have grabbed that Wolverine and be like, you want a little redemption?
Yeah.
But he didn't. He chose he chose the drunk Wolverine at the bar. And
yeah. That's the one that Wade Wilson relates to the most.
That's probably true. Less dramatic backstory they got to deal with.
Yeah. And I do want to because there are all these people that love to criticize the Marvel Universe, and people have been like, well, the cameos are just there to be cameos, and it's like, yeah, that's
the point.
Well, you won't understand them if you haven't seen all the other movies. It's like, well, at this point,
if you're starting here, you've already done it to yourself. This wasn't made for just you. It was made for the fans.
Right.
Period.
And this is, more than anything else, is a love letter to the Fox era of X-Men movies.
Yes.
This is more of the send-off to the Fox era than it is an MCU movie.
Yeah.
They don't really the only character that's like an MCU character they incorporate directly is Happy Hogan.
Yeah.
And they acknowledge that, oh, you're part of the MCU now. And
you're in the MCU.
You're in the MCU. Oh, and there you are crying with Thor. Why is Thor crying?
Yeah, why is Thor crying over me?
But other than that, it's not like he's hanging out over here with Captain Marvel or something. And maybe that'll happen in a future movie because it does seem like
it's open that they can have him now. In any movie they can show up. So, yay.
So,
I don't think we're ever going to get another Deadpool.
No.
I think he'll be in some Marvel stuff. But he said that his family is not allowing it.
Yeah, I think he's joking though.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That's a long time out of his life.
Yeah.
I could see his wife and kids being like, if you do that again, you're on your own.
Yeah.
I can understand.
Yeah,
we'll give it 10 years and see what happens.
I think that was just a joke, because you have to keep in mind, he actually had his wife and kids in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's the thing with Ryan Reynolds. You have to take anything he says with a grain of salt. It's all done with irony. It's all done with sarcasm. He's always saying oh, I hate this person, I hate that person, but it's always super, super sarcastic.
Yep. I thought him and Wesley Snipes hated each other forever and ever and ever.
Yeah, and
then Blade comes walking into the movie. I'm like, what?
What? There's a clip of Wesley Snipes saying oh, we just did that for the media, and I think I don't think that's true, but I think they brought it back
around.
And I don't think they hated each other, but the whole story production on Blade Trinity, which is the movie that had Ryan. Wesley Snipes was in a mood.
Oh yeah, that's a well-known.
He had his ego up. He was method acting.
Yeah,
everyone had to refer to him as Blade.
He would leave notes.
Yeah.
Signed as Blade.
There's one shot in the movie where he refused to open his eyes, so they had to CG opening his eyes. So I think that's more of it. Maybe that they didn't hate each other, but that whole production was. So they've gotten past it. Jennifer Garner's back as Elektra. She has a great joke about Matt Damon, about Ben Affleck. Oh, Daredevil's head. I'm sorry. It's it's fine.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
And there's the return of
X-23.
X-23,
which that was an awesome.
And that was one of those really dramatic grounding things that helps make this more than just a silly movie.
It did, because she was a big reason for Wolverine's turning point in the movie as well. So it was really cool to see that continuation. Not really a continuation from Logan, but kind of. You see, he gets why Logan did what he did for her.
Yeah.
And decides to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
So that was really good. Yeah. So I don't know. If you're not into these movies at this point, I don't know why you would.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
But to the cameos credits, Channing Tatum as Gambit is
fabulous.
Beautiful. He has the Cajun accent down perfect. This was something And this is like a real like deep cut thing. Like there was supposed to be a Gambit movie for like a decade.
Oh yeah, he's been on deck for like 10-something years waiting for Gambit.
And so that when he finally got it, he's like, I am taking my moment. And there's even a line like, oh, I've been waiting for this for a long time.
Myself here, boy. Woo.
And you know that was like honest and truthful because he really was waiting.
Yep.
And he's like, if I get a movie out of this, I'd be thrilled. And it looks.
I think you should give him one. I think it would be a great movie.
And it looks great. Like, because the character of Gambit, some people are like, oh, he just throws playing cards. He kind of looks silly, but they make it look so cool.
It's not just throwing cards. He chooses the cards. Gambit's power is he could take a pen and do the same thing.
Right. He can energize anything.
Anything and make it go boom.
As long as it's a moving object.
Exactly. So, but he's from the South. He's a gambling man. So that's what he chooses is poker cards.
Yeah.
You know, but it could be anything.
Right.
That's where people get lost. They don't know, well, why are the cards?
Because he likes cards.
He likes cards.
It's a cool aesthetic.
It's a cool
I don't know.
Aesthetic. Wing cards, pretty good. So yeah.
But just like when he like pulls the deck and they all become energized, man, like there's just such cool visuals.
Yeah, the visuals were excellent. All of the visuals were excellent. Top-notch work on the effects department. And everything like that. It was seamless. Yeah, it was just a beautiful movie. I loved it. I loved it.
But I was going to say with the cameos, like because the 4 major cameos where they meet up in the void and they kind of form this team to go after Cassandra Nova. Like, if you hadn't been familiar with any of those characters, I think that still works because it's just like if this was the first movie in a series and you're in a wasteland, you meet up with motley crews of people all the time.
Yeah, and that would open up great backstory for each of those characters, and if you're interested, go. Do a little digging.
Yeah. So yeah, it was great to see Wesley Snipes. It was great to see, all of them really. And Wesley Snipes, as I said, like didn't expect that in a million years.
No.
And and
didn't expect it to be so good.
Yeah.
Like it worked really well. Like Blade.
Yeah.
I guess Blade's in the in that verse. So.
And that, and it is also acknowledging that Blade really was the movie that started off the Marvel Renaissance, because people forget Blade was a Marvel character. Blade predated the X-Men movies, predated the Spider-Man movies.
Yep.
Blade came out just after Batman and Robin, which essentially killed the superhero movie. And so Blade came in. People didn't really even think of it as a superhero movie.
No.
But like it proved to studios like, oh, okay.
It can be done.
It can be done. And if Blade hadn't been made, we wouldn't have gotten X made. That's just what it comes down to. So going back and pulling him in and just kind of acknowledging like, hey,
the godfather
thank you, guy.
Of opening the door to this entire realm. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And Ryan Reynolds has said, like, give Wesley Snipes like his Logan movie, basically. Give him his swan song. Give him one last shot as Blade.
I would love to see the movies that ended them into the void.
Yeah.
How did they all end up in the void? I mean, I guess the TVA can just come in and
it can come in at any point. So I don't. But just
really
like give him a chance to do anything,
I would watch that in a hot second.
If we still want to have the Mahershala Ali Blade movie, like have Wesley Snipes Blade basically be the Whistler character.
That'd be good. Turning the, passing the torch.
2 Blades in one movie. Because I love Mahershala Ali. He's a great actor. I think he could be a great Blade.
Oh, I think he'd be a great Blade.
But,
Wesley Snipes
is sort of like the training of...
And give him a chance to redeem Blade Trinity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give him a chance, because he was solid in X-Men Wolverine. Like, he'll do an incredible job.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because those first 2 Blade movies were amazing.
They were really good. And then Blade Trinity, it
got ego. It got...
Yeah, rewrite that. Give him a chance to end that saga right way. I think that would be a great idea.
I've heard some people being like, it was a little bit of a missed opportunity not have Ryan Reynolds like be his character from Blade Trinity. And maybe, you could just you could have so much fun with that. Like maybe like Deadpool just flat out shoots him in the head or something. Just like, no.
Well, they already had the Ryan Reynolds gag as Ryan Pool.
Yeah, the nice pool, which is so funny.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
Sorry
about that. And he can't regenerate, so he just flat out gets murdered.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to get you to that hot dog cart. It's a mobile triage unit.
What are you talking about? So it is such a funny movie. Like we're already like out of time, but like,
yeah, I could go on for
it's
so
such
good.
a fun movie. It's such
a watch it.
Funny movie. It has its dramatic moments. You
can,
if you want to nitpick it, you absolutely can.
Sure,
but
go ahead, but nobody really. Yeah, we
it's
get
a
it.
Deadpool
There's holes.
movie.
There's we don't care.
Yeah.
We don't care. It was
also,
perfect for the fans. As I have not one complaint.
And also, it's a Deadpool movie, so all of the complaints, Deadpool's already addressed them within the movie.
Yeah,
he's self-aware. He's already said, "Oh, the MCU movies right now aren't very good." You know, so it's kind of
with this movie, and then the news of Robert Downey Jr. coming back as Victor Von Doom. There's some hope.
Yep.
Marvel's got a lot of big chance here, so let's go. I'm excited. I haven't been excited for a while.
Well, the new
Marvel,
Captain America movie looks good too.
Thunderbolts.
There's some good stuff. It's feeling like it's moving in a good direction for a while.
I think so.
After a while, where it was just kind of spinning their wheels, like it feels like there's some direction.
Yeah,
now.
It felt very unsure of which way they were going to go.
Yeah.
And now I think they have a direction.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Whatever phase we're in now, let's go.
Let's effing
phase
go.
12, let's effing go. But excellent.
All right. Well, so
yeah.
If you hadn't seen Deadpool and Wolverine, we spoiled the heck out of it.
We spoiled it, but social media has beat us to that.
Oh yeah, even the advertising for the movies.
But
so
go watch it.
Go see it.
There's tons of stuff in it that we didn't even scratch upon.
There's tons of Easter eggs throughout the entire movie.
Go watch it again because you've missed a ton.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So go check it out and come back and get Lost Movies again.
That was good.
Yeah.